Trust is more than just a buzzword. In today's marketing landscape, investing in trust can drive revenue growth. In 2024, Trustpilot commissioned Forrester Consulting, a leading independent research consultancy, to conduct a total economic impact study examining the benefits of using the Trustpilot review platform. Their findings show that interviewed customers who are using Trustpilot to manage their brand reputation achieved an ROI of over 400%. To find out how Trustpilot benefits businesses, visit business.trustpilot.com/calculate ROI.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Special Projects Editor and Senior Reporter at Ad Age, and welcome to another edition of the Marketer's Brief Podcast, our weekly discussion about marketing news and trends that have the industry buzzing. As consumers continue to be more price conscious, many are rethinking some of their grocery shopping habits. Some retailers, such as Albertsons, are taking this opportunity to grow and promote their wares in new ways. Today, we'll be talking with Carol Best, Vice President of Brand Marketing at Albertsons Companies. She'll discuss a recent freshness campaign for the Safeway chain and what trends the company is seeing with grocery shopping. Now, here's my conversation with Carol. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So how long have you been with Albertsons Companies, and what are you tasked with handling there?
I have been with Albertsons Companies for almost 4 years, the end of November, and I've had the distinct opportunity, quite frankly, the opportunity of a career to reposition a Fortune 50 company and introduce a new brand platform and help grow the brand across our suite of banners in all trade areas across the country. Our suite of banners can include Sincerely, Balducci's in your neighborhood, Adrienne, and then Shaw's, Star Market, or Julasco in the Chicago area. So we're well known across the country.
And had you worked in a grocery previously? What's your background?
My background, I was always on the agency side. And honestly, the opportunity fell on my lap because Albertsons was a client. And my relationship was with our chief marketing officer, who is now my boss. Don't burn bridges, as they say.
Yeah, we've written a lot about that kind of topic, going in-house to a brand from an agency.
Yeah.
That must have been helpful to kind of already be familiar with all the subject matter and what needed to be done.
It was really helpful. And frankly, it was very much a startup. The organization was very decentralized and marketing was run in our region, in our divisions, in their markets. We still see that as a competitive advantage today, getting real local and real intimate with the communities we serve. However, there was scale and productivity that we knew we could improve upon. And so when I came in, right, frankly, as COVID started, the organization was looking to help centralize marketing across the company. So it was very much a startup, which was exciting and fun.
So how does that work? Because to your point, Albertsons has several grocery brands, banners. Are you involved with the marketing for all of them? Is there kind of one overall branding that each one uses, and then it gets down to the regional level individually, or how does that work?
Yes, kind of see all of the above. So we launched a first ever purpose for the organization to unify all of the divisions in a rallying cry for our associates and to build a strategy around earning customers for life. And that purpose was, I was lucky enough to be a part of 20 executives to craft the company's first ever purpose. And our purpose is to bring people together around the joys of food and to inspire well-being. And so I was tasked on taking that purpose and talking to customers about it in our first ever brand campaign, which the creative idea for that campaign was Sincerely, really focusing on the care of our associates and the relationships that our customers have with their butcher or their cashier. We unearth these amazing customer insights that these relationships and our associates and the lengths they go to make sure their customers are being served intimately. Whether someone's sick, they send them flowers. I mean, the stories go on in the letters we get from customers. It's really heartwarming. But we weren't really talking to customers about that in a big way. So our Sincerely brand platform was the first to do that across all of our banners across all of our divisions. So from there became a brand platform to help guide our marketing directors in each of the divisions, in each of our regions, to help craft their local messaging and their local marketing efforts. But we have centralized media, we've centralized our CRM team. And then what we do is nuance for each of the regions. There are certain brand nuances at a hyper local level. And we created chapters, if you will, of our brand guidelines for each of those divisions to be able to action on quickly, because we don't want to slow down or get in the way of responding to market needs in an agile way. So I say it was kind of see all of the above. We have what we call a freedom and a framework for our tier one national brand campaigns. All of the divisions are kind of going all in to make sure we can increase our share of voice in each of the markets that we serve. On the other end of the spectrum are local events, local community driven events where they can just go with branded assets that we create toolkits for.
And I know you've had some recent campaigns following Sincerely, which I think Sincerely was a couple years ago, right? It's been
March 2023. Yep. It's
okay,
been a year.
yeah. And the recent one I'm thinking of is around Safeway, focused on freshness. Can you talk about what type of marketing has been successful? I mean, this focus on fresh food and some of the origins of some of the groceries seems like a message that's resonating.
It is. We're finding it really resonating with our customers. It's amazing that the lengths our customers go to make sure that we are providing the freshest of foods for our customers. And yet no one really knows those lengths. And that's my job, to talk about and highlight all this care of our associates, quite frankly, across the supply chain, from the farmers to carefully cultivating our supply chain, our distribution center. In our distribution center, we have what's called a banana ripening room. It's pretty incredible. And we actually did a 15-second commercial highlighting that feature. We've also run some native social content around interviewing our one banana ripening room, but we have them across our DCs across the country. So
Wait. This banana ripening room. Let's go. Let's talk more about this.
Yes.
So when did this content come out? Why haven't I seen it? And what's the secret to ripening these bananas? Is it avocado?
That makes me sad. Yes, exactly. We need an avocado ripening room, but there's, I'm sure, amazing science behind that. But I'll focus on the banana ripening room. My team did a tour of the DC Center to get smart for talking about what we do well. And as you are, we were flabbergasted. It is probably about 7 stories high, and there's different degrees. And I'll share the 15-second with you after we chat. But it was one of our most successful video from a performance perspective because it's so fascinating, right? You think bananas get picked, they go on a truck and they show up in your store. No, not so much. There's such a science and such an art behind what we do to deliver fresh. And that was really the strategy behind the campaign. The campaign was called Perfecting the Art of Fresh. This passion and this acumen that our associates have, and the synchronizing, if you will, across the farm when things are picked, the distribution centers, as I talked about, our fleet of delivery trucks, and our associates in store. Like, we're proud to say we're one of few national grocers that hand cut steaks by request, or hand cut steaks in our stores, and also fresh cut fruit. We serve fresh cut fruit bowls to our customers that we hand cut in store that day. We have 5-star bakers. We have amazing distinction around our fresh departments that customers don't know a lot about, right? They know it tastes great, they know it's accessible. So that's my job, to make sure we're highlighting this amazing passion and amazing skill that our associates have.
So it's a question of education, it seems like, just getting all of this across.
For sure. So in our year 2 of our Sincerely campaign and our sort of brand platform and building that brand, we wanted to get deeper with customers and really telling them the why, and winning share of mind, if you will, winning minds, to make sure they understand why Albertsons companies stores. You mentioned Safeway. This was across Safeway banners. This was across Shaw's Star Market, Jewel Osco, across all our banners. And we wanted to demonstrate why us. So you're right, it was about educating, but educating with an entertainment value. Speaking of entertainment, we leveraged, obviously, the symphony metaphor. And from a creative execution, the agency that we worked with, Anomaly, had a brilliant idea to create a simile or a metaphor of an orchestra. And so if you see the spots, there's no supers, there's no voiceovers, bringing together the different components that I talk about, that education, with a beautiful score, a beautiful bespoke composition that was composed by Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead fame. And so that was really cool to work with him. And the music is such an amazing metaphor of the art and the science that I'm talking about. The other challenge with the music, and the reason why, was more of a business reason as well. We are outspent by competitors. And so we have to be agile, we have to get creative so we can break through and engage. And we found music to be so powerful to really stop from all of the overwhelming attention that customers go through, to have that stopping power and engagement.
So you mentioned Anomaly handling that recent campaign on freshness with the symphony. Do they work with all of the brands or just with Safeway?
They work with all of Albertsons company's brands. Yes.
And
Yep.
how big is your own internal marketing and brand team? I know there's the corporate level and then the individual, but I mean, it sounds like there's a pretty robust internal organization alongside the external agency with Anomaly.
That's right. We're robust from where we used to be. As I mentioned, it was in startup mode about early 2020 with a handful of associates, but we're now 100 plus across performance marketing, insights, our loyalty team. Brand marketing is 30-ish strong. And so we're leveraging, it depends, but for our tier one, our national campaigns, our brand campaigns, we're leveraging Anomaly, we're leveraging media partners, but we're also leveraging in-house. I've got a really strong, agile, organic social team, and they are amazing. And we leverage either content creators or influencers. So we're trying to do what we can with how lean we are and make sure that we're breaking through.
Let's take a quick break for this message from our sponsor.
Did you know that improving trust and reputation with Trustpilot can have tangible business benefits? With Trustpilot, interviewed customers experienced benefits of $1.2 million over 3 years. This is what Forrester Consulting has discovered in the 2024 commissioned Total Economic Impact Study of using the Trustpilot review platform. To find out how Trustpilot drove growth for its customers, visit business.trustpilot.com/calculate ROI.
Welcome back. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you about, Carol, is this trend of higher grocery prices. What types of messaging are you finding kind of resonate most with consumers? And what kind of trends are you seeing in terms of shopping habits as consumers navigate some of these higher prices?
We're seeing a lot of channel shift within retail. No surprise, people are shopping Walmart more, Costco more. With the price of gas lower, customers are taking the time and driving multiple trips. So we're seeing that. We are also leaning in from the value messaging. Value's always been a core tenet in how we talk to customers about our brand. There's the things that we provide from a quality perspective. Our value equation is we want customers to realize they're getting more with what they pay at our stores. We're doing that in big ways through broad national campaigns, but we're also doing that in smaller ways as a component within each campaign. So for example, the Perfecting the Art of Fresh campaign, we had a component called a Stay Fresh series. So whether it's heavily in organic social, but we're talking about leveraging our expertise, providing tips on how your lettuce can last longer, how you can pick avocados so that they don't spoil. So it's both for stretching your dollar, but also for eliminating food waste. And we're finding they're very powerful, and customers are responding really well to that type of content.
What about pushing more private label brands? I know that Albertsons has a new Overjoyed brand that debuted earlier this year. Why is that an area of investment for the company? And does that have to do with some of the higher prices of national grocery brands?
Absolutely. When our customers are stretched with dollars and we see major trends in the economic situation being what it is with inflation and dollars needing to go farther, not only are people channel switching, but within categories, we're seeing people trade down to our own brands. Our own brands, we have an amazing portfolio of own brands. We just launched Overjoyed, as you mentioned, which is a seasonal sort of lighthearted brand for very seasonal relevant items. And that's not part of my team. So I can connect you with our own brands marketing leader, but we are absolutely focusing our own brands in our marketing efforts. We're also, from a national brand marketing perspective, whenever we have a campaign and we're featuring the shopping experience or food, we are highlighting our own brands throughout the content as well.
What type of marketing channels are you finding resonate the most? And what kind of mix? You've mentioned a lot of different channels, social, and I think there's a lot of video that you've done, but where are you finding that you're putting most of your paid media dollars?
Yeah, paid for sure. We're leveraging CTV and OLB. Video is still our strongest asset that performs. It's just customers are most interested. Frankly, we're finding our 30 seconds are, while we need them to tell a story, it's our 15-second videos and our 6 seconds that work so hard to drive the kind of behaviors that we want to drive with the campaign. I mentioned organic social. We also have a robust CRM, which isn't paid, it's our own channels. But we are, as a retailer, fortunate enough to own that point of purchase. And so we're leveraging our emails and our site and app to make sure that we're talking about what's relevant and driving the conversion at the point of sale.
Are you experimenting with any new channels? Is there anything where you're dipping a toe in that you could mention?
We're constantly we're dipping a toe in personalization. But that's not necessarily a media partner, but we're constantly experimenting with new media partners and leveraging existing ones. Our paid media team reports into one of my peers, so I can't speak to specifics, but I can tell you that we leverage Merkle, our media agency, and they're constantly bringing new innovation for us. We found Nextdoor works well for us from a partnership perspective with media. So we often do campaign activations through Nextdoor. The beauty and the challenge with my role is everyone shops for groceries, right? And so from a targeting perspective, it can get pretty overwhelming. We have robust insights and a customer analytics team. So we look more to psychographics and need states and psychographic mindsets, if you will, of shoppers, but we don't want to, so we have a design target for every campaign, but we don't want to alienate any existing customers. We skew older. So we see Facebook performs well from us from an organic platform perspective. Nextdoor, as I mentioned, from a media partnership, from a paid perspective, but we also want to bring along the younger generations for our future shoppers.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I wanted to ask you about one last thing. With the colder weather, we're now in flu season, and I know Albertsons offers COVID and flu vaccines in your stores. Are you doing any marketing for these shots? And I'm wondering if you're putting any paid media behind them and kind of encouraging people to stick around too when they do come in.
We are, yes. We provide any kind of vaccination. You're right, COVID, flu. In fact, I just got mine last week. And with that, you get a coupon, 10% off your groceries. So not only do we care for our community, so we're putting paid media behind flu season and COVID vaccinations, but we also want to make sure there's an incentive beyond just your health. So we're giving the coupons, which you can either have uploaded right to the app, or you can get a printed coupon if that's intimidating for you. You can get a printed coupon to use as you check out.
Is that something new, or is that pretty much the same thing you typically do, same amount?
Yes, it is the same amount. We found it to be very successful. We started that at the onset of the COVID pandemic, and it's been really well received with customers. And it helps also drive trips in to get that vaccination appointment.
Well, Carol, we're out of time. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
That was Carol Best, Vice President of Brand Marketing at Albertsons Companies, and I'm Adrienne Pasquarelli, Special Projects Editor and Senior Reporter at Ad Age. I'd like to thank our producer, Lauren Chiardio, and invite you to subscribe to the Marketer's Brief podcast on your favorite player. We promise to keep it brief, or at least short enough for your morning coffee. Thanks for tuning in.
Marketer's Brief listeners get $40 off an adage.com subscription. Sharpen your marketing edge and visit adage.com/brief for your discount.